If you're confused about who your niche is, start with this question. What version of you needed of what you know now? Because no one knows her like you do, and no one can serve her like you can. Hmm. You don't need a brand new blueprint. You need to extract the brilliance from the hell you already survived. That's where your niche lies. She's not a stranger. She's a former version of you, just waiting to be let out. Hey, it's your girl, Sherry Summer Bell. Listen, I just want to talk for a second about this specific topic of niche, whatever you want to call it, because this has been one of the biggest topic in 23, 24. Everybody was talking about what's your niche, and everyone was trying to hone in on what niche is your industry, is your demographic. And it drove me crazy trying to come up with my own niche. And it's probably driving you crazy as well. But I want to dedicate this episode just talking about how to define your niche. I wanted the opportunity to share with you how I came up with my own niche. And I want to be honest with you. Your niche is just simple. Your old life is your new niche. So I want to share with you how to turn your life experience into your niche, because I get it, because I struggled for years trying to define who I was speaking to. I would be crafting offers, writing emails, launching my programs, and still feeling like I was throwing darts into the dark. Some days I was talking to insurance agents. Other days I was talking to single moms. Other days I was talking to coaches. Other days, I was talking to whoever's strolling. Why? Because I was evolving so fast. I didn't know who to anchor myself to. And even any one version of me. But here's the truth. I wasn't unclear. I just was unwilling to claim the woman I used to be. Let me say it again. I was unwilling to claim the woman I used to be because part of me was embarrassed. Let me say it again. Part of me was embarrassed. Can she even afford me now? The limitations was costing me alignment and income. And I hate to admit that, but that was really, really true. I was probably afraid of going back to open these wounds that I did not want to open. For a long time, I really thought that the old version of me was my niche. And I kind of knew that, but I really didn't want to revisit her. And you probably thinking the same thing, Sherry. I get it. Let me take you back to 2017 because I just walked away from my job in law enforcement because I was a corporate with sheriff office. But because if you read my book, The Challenge Code, you read my story. Let me go ahead and shameless plug. Go to thechallengecode.com to grab my book if you haven't. So I had to leave my job and leave my home, and my credit score was a wreck. I was 8 months behind my mortgage, and I'm moving to a 600 square foot apartment. And when I moved in, I moved in with my son Dylan, and I had an iPhone 6. Yeah, an iPhone 6. And I did the only thing I knew how to do was speak. I went live, tell my story. I didn't have a fancy funnel. I didn't have a big team. And some viral moment, I just kept showing up. I kept teaching and inviting, and the women would listen, and they would listen, and they would listen. They were just like me. They didn't need to be perfect. They needed proof. They didn't looking for perfect. And that's how I found my niche. Not in Canva, not in some course, in my own transformation, in the woman I used to be. So I just want to let you know right now that your niche is hidden in the woman you used to be. So if anyone is telling you that or making you feel like your niche is in your demographic or in the industry that you used to serve or are currently serving. I wanted to let them know that that's not true. Your niche is a former version and experience of what you just came out of, or the version of who you serve, or the advocate of who you are. Who else best to talk about the experience than the advocate of the person who survived that experience? When I got that aha moment that I'm helping a woman behind me and I'm pulling them up, that's so amazing. I just came back from the Claim Your Throne conference a few days ago, and I was speaking to these women and I was teaching them the framework. And shout out to Myron Golden, because I was teaching this framework that I learned from him. And I was showing them about measuring your level of your expertise. And let's say you know your expertise. So I had to grab my whiteboard so you can see what I'm talking about. So one of the framework Myron taught me is learning the levels of how you want to see yourself. So one of the things I want to show you is your levels. So what I mean by level is I want you to think of your life like this. So let's say we're going to start out of 10, right? So we have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's say you are an expert in real estate. So let's say you're an expert in real estate. So let's say you've been in real estate for a while. You've made six figures in real estate. You've made multi six figures in real estate. So you're going to say, oh, I'm in real estate. I've known real estate. So I give myself a 7 because I'm in real estate. I know how to wholesale, lease options. I'm a good investor and all that jazz. So you said your expert level in real estate, your expert. Oh God, I can't spell today. Expert level in real estate is at a 7. So what you're saying is that anyone who feel that their expert level is at a 6 or 7 or lower, you can help them. That's what you're saying, right? Basically, because I just came from a speaking engagement and the guy was like, what level are you in speaking? And everyone's like, hey, I may add a 6 or 7 or whatever. And whatever level you are, you can teach at below that. So therefore, anyone that needs help in the level that they're below, you're able to help. So what happened to level 8, 9, or 10? Well, the levels that are above you, because you still have room to improve, the level, oh, look at that. The level that are above you, because you still have room to improve, that means these levels, look, twice. Well, maybe it can work, but the levels that are above you, let's try this again. Okay, that worked. The levels that are above you, these are the levels that you will learn, right? This is where you are investing to go up. So again, so the level that's below, you are teaching. So we teach down and we learn up. So we teach down but we learn up, right? So we learn up, but we teach down. That is, and we teach down. That is so important for us to know. So Sherry, what does that mean? That means if we want to speak to higher value people, we have to invest higher so we can talk to more higher value people. We have to increase our niche to talk to higher value people, right? Because we, as an expert, we are learning as we go down. Here's another aha moment. We get to decide how low we want to teach. There are times when I meet people and they're like super beginner friendly, like they're still trying to know what is a landing page, what is a sales page. And I have to decide, do I want to start here in the beginning where they're just learning? And sometimes I would just provide them with a course that teach that they don't necessarily get my time, but they get a course right here that can teach that for them. So they don't get my time, but you can offer a course that can help them with that, right? And then so when they get here, they may more get your time. I know we're getting a little off subject, but I just want to share that with you, because when we're talking about niche being more niche specific, when it's these people who have been through an experience, not just an expertise, but an experience, also who has experienced something that you have experienced, you get to teach them as well. So the level of experience that you've had with somebody, from the 6, 7, 5, 8 experience, however you have experienced it, you get to teach them, because you teach down, right? You teach down, but you learn up. So because you teach down and you learn up, if you say, hey, Sherry, I want to learn, I want to teach higher value people, then you got to move up here to the 7 or 8 level based on whatever your experience is in. Even if it's a life experience, same thing. So you hear Alex Hormones says, hey, solve bigger problem. That's what he means. Because in order to go up, you got to solve bigger problems, bigger issues, in order for you to be able to teach at a higher level, right? So I just wanted to kind of show you there. So the life experience that you have experienced in things, you have to understand that you are getting paid based on the level of your experience and the things that you have been through. And so you're helping the people that came behind you. You're helping people who, based on the level where you see yourself, you're helping those people come behind you. Now, let me just be clear. This is all a mindset thing, because you may be at a level 9, but because of how you see yourself, because of what you believe about yourself, you're saying you're at a level 6 in your experience. So this is also a mindset thing. So I want to also, side note, point that out as well to you so you can understand that. Yeah. So that's the power of expanding your mind. But when you're talking about your niche, understand that your niche don't always have to be an industry or a demographic. Your niche can also be more of who you are. Your niche could be an archetype. Your niche could be like a psychograph or archetype. For me, I serve high performing women who are tired of hiding behind their skills and are ready to speak with the same authority that they carry behind closed door. She's not just seeking income, she's seeking influence that feels aligned, because I learned a long time ago that it's not just about the money, because I get bored with the money. I also want to have influence to empower and move the masses. I call her my niche, my target audience, the resilient renegade. That woman who is tired of playing nice, who is tired of playing safe in the place that don't pay her like they should. The resilient renegade, but powerful as head when she's ready to bet on herself. She's like an activator. Not just inspirational, but she's definitely an activator. And I'm definitely evidence of who she is. And I truly love to anchor her by helping her at high achieving women who are tired of being seen of capable, but not highly paid. They want to package their voice into a movement and turn their service into sales. See, these women don't want another mindset pep talk. They want methods that can monetize. They're not afraid of work. They're afraid of wasting their voice on work that no longer fulfill them. Because I'm hearing y'all right now, like I'm sitting next to you and be like, yes, Sherry, that's me. You're talking to me right now. Yes. Whether you're watching on YouTube or listen to me on Instagram, this is not the woman that are ready to play small. This is not the woman that need another certificate. This is the woman who carry everyone else's dream, but forget to cash in on your own. You don't need another title. You already have a brand. but your brand is in your DM and it's in your DM for too long. It's time to cash in that bank. Hello. I love it. I love it. I love it. We got to get out now. The women that I deal with, my niche women, here's what they're thinking. They're saying, I've built a good life. I did everything right, but I can feel it. I'm no longer available for performing in rooms that don't pay me for what I'm worth. I don't need a bigger to-do list. I need a clear offer, a clear voice, and a clear strategy that lets me monetize what I already know. I'm not scared of work. I'm scared of working this hard and still feeling unseen. I am done with conversations about visibility that don't lead to value and velocity. I want results that respect my capacity and my calling. And when I recognize that this woman and the way she's thinking, I was like, wow, she's a former version of who I am. And I say to this woman, here's how to use your former self to find your niche. Now, this is a part where I said, grab your diva notebook and your diamond pen. Let's go. You got it? Because we're going to start writing. Ready? Let's go. How to use your former self to find your niche. Let me give you these quick, trusted tips to guide you. And make sure you write this down and make sure you check these over and over again. You ready? So these quick, true tips is things I want you to keep revisiting over and over. Number one, your niche is a former version of you, not just demographically, but emotionally. So I need you to ask yourself these questions. What have she went through? What did she whisper in private? What was keeping her up late at night? Speak to her questions, not just a category. Number two, your story is not just a sob story. It's a sales story. You didn't go through all that pain just for healing. You went through it because you also went through it to make things happen. People don't pay you for trauma. They pay you for the transformation that you know now. They pay you for the transformation that you can now offer because of it. And number three, the clearer you are on who she was, the easier for you to create content that convert. When your audience hear you say, I remember when, they lean in. Soon as you say that, they start leaning in. They trust you because you're not speaking at them, you're speaking from them. That's a lot. So your niche is a former version of you, not just demographically, but emotionally. Number two, your story is not just a sob story, it's a sales story. Number three, the clearer you are on who she was, the easier it is for you to create content that converts. Make sure you write those three things down. And finally, I want to share this with you before I go. If this spoke to you today, and you know it's time to turn your voice and lived experience into a message that get people to say yes, don't just sit on it. I want you to join me inside of my free masterclass, How to Get People to Say Yes. It is where I break down how to use your story to build trust fast. Position your voice as the premium offer and move people from interest to investment without ever sounding salesy. So I want you to click the link inside the show notes because your next level isn't about saying more, but it's about saying it right. Listen, you don't have to reinvent yourself to find your niche. You just have to be willing to revisit the old version of you who needed the woman that you are now. Hey, it's your girl, Sherry Somerville, and I'll see you on our next episode.